Is the major excretory organs of our body, that is kidneys. Now these are two bean-shaped reddish brown organs within the abdomen, here located on the posterior abdominal wall behind the peritoneum, that is they are retroperitoneal structures on each side of the vertebral column at the level of 12th thoracic to 3rd lumbar vertebra. Now they occupy epigastric, hypochondriac, lumbar and umbilical regions. Right kidney is slightly lower because of the presence of large liver on the right side. Left kidney is a little nearer the midline. Both the kidneys have their long axis slightly oblique in this way, being directed downwards and laterally. Now another thing to note is the upper pole, the hilum and the lower pole are 2.5 centimeters, 5 centimeters and 7.5 centimeters away from the midline respectively. Now it is a bean-shaped organ. The measurements are: length is around 11 centimeters, width around 6 centimeters and thickness is around 3 centimeters. The weight in males is around 150 grams and a little less in females, that is around 135 grams. Now regarding external features, it has got two poles, upper superior and inferior pole, two surfaces, anterior and posterior, two borders, medial and lateral, and a hilum. Now first of all, the superior pole, it is related to the suprarenal gland. Here you can see suprarenal gland on the top of or on the superior pole of each kidney. Also in this specimen, this is right suprarenal gland and this is left suprarenal gland. Now regarding surfaces, the anterior surface is convex, posterior surface is flat. Now regarding borders, the lateral border is convex. The medial border on the other hand is convex on the top and below but concave in the middle, and this concavity is called hilum. Now important point regarding hilum is from before backwards it has got three structures. Anterior most is vein, that is renal vein, in the middle is renal artery and posterior most is renal pelvis. Now here you can see this is attached to inferior vena cava is the renal vein. This is renal vein. Here this is renal vein. Then behind that attached to aorta is renal artery and posterior most is the renal pelvis. Pelvis is the proximal dilated part of ureter. Now this becomes more clear in this model where renal vein, renal artery and renal pelvis from before backwards. Now we come to another important subheading, that is relations of kidney. Now for relations of kidney, just take a look at this diagram. This is a stomach bed. This is left kidney with left suprarenal gland and right kidney with right suprarenal gland. Now regarding anterior relations, first of all, the right kidney. Now take a look at this diagram here. This area obviously is related to suprarenal gland in right kidney and left kidney as well. Now on the right kidney, this area is related to the liver. Here is the C-shaped curvature of duodenum. This pink area is right colic flexure and this blue colored area is related with the loops of jejunum. Similarly, on the left side, apart from this suprarenal area, we have a area related to stomach plus this purple colored spleen. Then this yellow color is pancreas. Blue one is related to loops of jejunum and left colic flexure. Here you can see this is pancreas related to left kidney. This is left colic flexure and all the other structures I just told you about. Now coming to posterior relations. Now regarding they are important. Now take a look at this diagram here. Now because the right kidney is a little lower than the left kidney, the right kidney is related only to the 12th rib, while the left kidney, being a little higher up, is related to both 12th and 11th ribs. Now it has got 4 muscles related to it posteriorly. This is diaphragm on both sides and is going from medial to lateral side, psoas major, quadratus lumborum and transversus abdominis muscle. And regarding other structures from top to bottom, these are subcostal vessels and nerves, then iliohypogastric nerve and ilioinguinal nerve. So these were the posterior relations. Now another important heading is the coverings or capsules of kidney. Now regarding coverings or capsules, again you will have to look at this diagram. Now starting from inside going towards outside, the kidney is immediately surrounded by a true capsule or fibrous capsule, followed by a layer of fat called perinephric fat, followed by renal fascia or fascia of Gerota, Gerota, and outermost is another fat layer called paranephric fat. Now this fascia of Gerota is again composed of 2 layers, an anterior layer called fascia of Told, TOLDT, and a posterior layer called fascia of Zucker-Kandel, ZUCKER-KANDL. Now we come to the microscopic structure of kidney. Here. Now this is a model of the microscopic structure of kidney. Now with naked eye we see the kidney in its longitudinal section is divided into 2 parts. Kidney proper, this colored portion, and a renal sinus, this cream colored portion. Now kidney proper again is divided into an outer cortex and an inner medulla. Now this cortex extends within the medulla in the form of renal columns of Bertini, BERTINI, and the medulla in turn is again composed of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 11 conical masses called renal pyramids or pyramids of Malpighi, MALPIGHI. Now this one renal pyramid along with the top covering of renal cortex, this much area, is called a lobe of kidney. This is one single lobe of kidney, the renal pyramid with a hat of renal cortex. Now we come to the second part, that is renal sinus. Now renal sinus is composed of renal pelvis, which is the proximal dilated part of ureter, major calyces, and further dividing into minor calyces. Now this renal pelvis is divided into 2 or 3 major calyces, and these major calyces are further divided into 5 to 11 minor calyces. These are minor calyces where the collecting tubules open. Now we come to the arterial supply. Now regarding arterial supply, now each kidney is supplied by one renal artery. Now this is abdominal part of aorta. Now this is one renal artery going to right kidney, and this is the other renal artery going to the left kidney. Now these renal arteries on entering the hilum divide into two divisions, anterior and posterior. Now the junction between, here you can see in this diagram, the junction between the area of supply of anterior and posterior division, which is this junction, is a functionally avascular zone known as Brodell's line, Brodel''S, Brodell's line. Now this renal artery on entering the kidney further divides into anterior and posterior division, I just told you, then into segmental arteries, which further divide into lobar branches, then interlobar arteries, and finally into arcuate arteries. These are arcuate arteries, that is, arcuate arteries run parallel to the cortex or outer external surface, are the arcuate arteries. And these arcuate arteries further divide into interlobular arteries, which again divide into afferent arterioles, and these afferent arterioles are the ones which enter the glomerulus, followed by efferent arterioles. Now we come to the venous drainage. Here you can see each kidney is drained by one renal vein. This is the left renal vein joining the inferior vena cava, and this is the right renal vein joining the inferior vena cava. Left one is a little longer because it has to cross the vertebral column and aorta and go to the other side. Similarly, the right renal artery is a little longer because it has to cross to the other side. Now coming to lymphatic drainage, the kidneys drain into para-aortic lymph nodes. The sympathetic supply is by T10 to L11, and the parasympathetic fibers are derived from both the vagus nerves. So this was all about gross anatomy of kidneys. Thank you.